Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Real Talk. Today we're talking about work ethic. Work ethic is something that I believe cannot necessarily be taught. And the most heartbreaking thing is whenever somebody is really talented but isn't necessarily willing to put in the work. I've seen it firsthand where people are good at what they do and they have this natural gift and they just aren't actually willing to put in the time to take them to that next level. A perfect example for this is sports. Sports is a world that a lot of people start getting passionate about it because they're good at it. They have that early set gift that they recognize that they're told about, that they are different than other people. In sports, you end up liking things that you're good at. Just in life in general, you end up liking things, you end up being attracted to things that you're good at. It's not fun to do things that you're not good at. Whenever you struggle at something, you're probably not necessarily going to stick with it, especially if you're not great at it at first. While the best athletes, the best photographers, the best people at what they do weren't always that good, they started out and there was something special about that spark. They started out and they realized that something just was different about this than every other part of their life. I found this with baseball. I played other sports growing up. I played basketball, but baseball, I was pretty good at it from a young age. And I felt like even whenever I just started, I wouldn't even say I was better than people, but I just had something different that people didn't have. I didn't have that in basketball. It might have been because I was never the tallest kid, never the fastest kid, but in baseball, it was just different. It was that first insight to me of, all right, I have a talent, I have a gift. Now what am I going to do with it? This led into high school whenever I started working out. Up until middle school, I never really worked out. I would go to my baseball practices. I would do what I was told by my coaches, but I didn't really lift at all. I think that's pretty normal that middle schoolers aren't necessarily lifting, but whenever I got to high school, it was something that differentiated me. It was me and a couple of my friends that really got into working out, and by no surprise, we ended up being the better players on the team. It's funny how that works. And I surrounded myself with these people that pushed me. I surrounded myself with these other players that were good at what they did. The other players that would push themselves, which would also mean that whenever I wasn't necessarily feeling it, they would push me. They wouldn't necessarily be looking at me and be like, dude, you have to do this today. But say we were supposed to work out and I wasn't feeling it, instead of me not going, I saw that they were going. Maybe they were really excited for the workout that we were going to do that day. So them going made me go just because I was like, oh man, like they're doing it. I can just push through it. And this is something that I have really tried diving into recently. I'm into working out. It's the thing that helps me mentally. Honestly, I would say more than physically. I'm not trying to be super big. I'm not trying to be super strong. I work out because it separates my day. I work out because it's an easy way to have that accomplishment. I would say it's easier to push yourself physically than anything else. Whenever you're pushing yourself in business, whenever you're pushing yourself mentally, that's really freaking hard. But physically, if all it is taking another step. So if you're running, all it is at the end of the day is putting that 1 foot ahead. And you're telling me you can't just keep putting 1 foot in front of the other? You're crazy. Running is such a mental game, and it comes down to work ethic. Work ethic is whenever you're willing to do things that other people aren't necessarily going to do. Work ethic comes out whenever you're not feeling it. So that's why physically working out helps me a ton. I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts recently that are with some of the most just like savage people out there. And one thing that all of them say is that they're not always feeling it, but they're gonna get it done. You might not have the best workout today, but if you do a workout whenever you're not necessarily feeling it, you're going to feel a lot better. And those add up. You not skipping that day, it goes a long way. Yesterday was a perfect example for me. I wasn't necessarily feeling it. And I got to the gym and the gym was packed. And I was like, oh man, like I if you don't know, I go to my apartment gym, so it's not that big. So packed is like 7 or 8 people. I was like, oh man, like it's just gonna be annoying if I'm like rotating in on a bench or anything like that. So I was like, all right, I'll hop on the treadmill. I'll run a mile. By the time I'm done with that, some people probably would have cleared out. Hop on the treadmill, throw on a video, watching the video. Next thing you know, I ran a mile and half the people were gone. So I was like, nice, I'll get a good lift in. Let's do it. I go and I start lifting and it just like, I wasn't feeling great. My back was pretty tight. I just like wasn't, I don't know, there was something about it. I just wasn't feeling it at all. And those are the moments though that you can't just like walk out of the gym. You end up feeling a lot better if you stay there. If you just push yourself. You're not going to have the best workout you've ever had, but pushing yourself beyond what your mind wants to do actually helps you in a bunch of different ways. It helps you in a bunch of different categories of life. And that's what it did for me. So I was having this garbage lift. I literally think I did like 3 workouts, 4 sets of each. And I was like, dang, like I do not want to do this. So I was like, you know what? This video I've been listening to is a podcast. I got 15 minutes left on it. I can do something for 15 minutes. Even if it's not anything crazy, I can figure something out that will take up those 15 minutes of my time so that I can have that 45-minute workout. I decided to hop back on the treadmill. I was like, I can run for 15 minutes. It's not that bad, especially on a treadmill. It's easier. So that pushed me. That's work ethic right there. That is you forcing yourself to do something that you don't necessarily want to do. A true work ethic comes out, like I said, whenever you're not feeling it. Anyone can have a good work ethic whenever they wake up and they're feeling all that energy, but that's not always the case. Work ethic comes out whenever you need to dig deep, and you need to dig deep for that energy. Maybe you need to stay up a little bit later. Maybe you need to stay an hour or two past whenever you're supposed to leave because you need to finish to get that actual end product. Having a good work ethic gives you that good product. It gets you that amazing final product that if you were just putting in the hours that you're supposed to do, and once the clock hit 5, whenever you're supposed to leave, you dipped out, you're not going to end up getting as much as you're capable of. You're not going to end up getting that product that you can get at the end of the day. This happened again the other day. This is actually a really funny story. I worked all day and me and my friends decided to go bowling later at night. So we go bowling and whenever we went, I think we bowled like 2 games. There were 4 of us there. We were just looking for something to do, hanging out with some friends, just chilling, looking for a way for us to just get out of the house. And we got there, and one of my friends was like, yo, do you guys want any drinks? Sure, whatever. It was night. We were all done for the day. Yeah, I'll have a drink or 2. He gets a pitcher of beer, and I have 1 or 2 while we're playing. And whenever we got home, one of my friends had something to do. The other 2 were just like, I'm gonna head home. Like I got work to do. I'm gonna just figure out something else to do. So I was like, oh man, like whatever. All right, sounds good. Like I'll figure out something to do. So I was like, I should work out. And one of my friends was like, yeah, just work out. Just do it. Like who cares? So keep in mind, this is after I had 2 drinks. I took a little bit of pre-workout. I took it just so that I would go work out. And this might be contradicting my statement of like pushing yourself to go do it because, mentally I did not want to go work out. But I took a little bit of pre-workout just because I knew once I took a sip, I had to go. I wasn't going to take this pre-workout and then just sit around all night. So then I was going downstairs and I was like, God damn, I do not want to work out right now. And so I decided that since it was Veterans Day, I would do Murph. If you don't know what Murph is, you run a mile and then you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 bodyweight squats, and then after you're done with all that, you run another mile. it's hard. You might think it doesn't sound that hard. Some people hear it and they're like, wow, like that's a lot. Some people hear and they're like, oh man, like I could do 200 push-ups, 300 squats. It's not that bad. But it adds up, especially if you do it consecutively. If you do it like all of the pull-ups at once, and then you do all of the push-ups at once and all the squats, it's actually easier if you do, like, let's say 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and then 15 squats. I don't know if that math's correct, but it's easier if you do it in those increments. And but I decided not to do it. I decided to do it the harder way. And the reason I'm getting at this is because I didn't want to go do that. I deep down wanted to just sit around and eat Cheez-Its all night. But work ethic comes into play whenever you don't do that. You don't follow that idea of you doing what your mind is telling you to do. You want to push yourself. You have a different part of your mind that you can tap into in those times that'll just push you further, that'll make you do better things. The people that have good work ethic are the people who can tap into that. The people that can push themselves whenever they're not feeling it. The people that can just do these things that aren't fun. The people that can do the mundane tasks well every single day. That's what work ethic is. Work ethic cannot be taught. You might meet the most talented person ever. Say somebody's a video editor and they're amazing at it. If they're amazing today, but they don't keep working at it and they just keep doing what they're good at, in a year or two, everyone's going to catch up. Everyone's going to realize that they can do something new. They can go with the times. For example, if you were a good video editor 10 years ago, you probably weren't in the social media space very much. Now, one of the biggest industries in film is the social media space. If you hung around in that old-fashioned style where it was pretty much just a slideshow, or if you were just doing the if you were like in the actual cinema film route, if you didn't adapt to become some sort of social media person, somebody who could help these people who are looking for this video content create for their social media, you probably took a hit. You need to change with the times. But people that don't change with the times are the ones that don't have great work ethics. It's a hard thing to do because it's easy to get set in your ways. It's easy to just do what you're used to. But you do need to keep changing. And if you're passionate about something, the work ethic kind of comes with it. There's nothing easier than working on something that you genuinely want to work on. I think that whenever you truly work a lot, it doesn't feel like it if you're doing something that you enjoy. I heard on a podcast recently, they were talking about how people from the outside look at them like they're working so hard. I actually feel that. People from the outside looking in look at it like I work a lot. They look at it like I do a lot and I'm always working, but it just doesn't feel like that to me. I know I do work hard, but I probably lean more in the direction of thinking I don't work hard enough than I work too hard. It doesn't feel like work when you genuinely enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't feel like work whenever you're working towards something. A lot of people don't experience that. A lot of people go in, punch the clock, punch in, punch out, and that's it. But whenever you genuinely enjoy what you do, you can work 16-hour days and not be as exhausted as somebody else. You genuinely believe in what you're doing, and it goes a long way. If you have a good work ethic, then run with it. If you don't, well, you can change it. You just have to actively know. Nobody's going to be able to teach you how to do it. You have to realize that you can dive deep and figure it out yourself. You need to be able to push yourself to your limits and do those things that you're not necessarily feeling like doing. So if you have any desire to start working harder, if you have any desire to become better, I can't push you enough to do this. You should go out there, and if you're not feeling like working out, go work out. If you are working out and you want to cut your workout short by a little bit, don't do it. You'll feel a lot better after if you push yourself through that point, and you'll look back at it that night and you'll be like, dang, I'm really glad I did that. if you want to start something outside of your work, if you want to start your own thing outside of what you do every day, take baby steps. People will notice. People will come with you. People appreciate that. And people appreciate that because they might not necessarily be able to push themselves to that point. So at the end of the day, just work hard. Hard work really pays off. Hard work can't be taught. And if you are willing to put in the work, then you will get rewarded. It's funny how much luckier you get as you start to work hard. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next episode. I have to say this is one of my favorite episodes so far. I really got passionate there. I'm starting to get into a little bit of a groove. Episode 10. We're getting somewhere with this. We'll be at 100, 200 in no time. So we'll see where this takes us. Peace out, guys. Have a great day.